Hello and welcome. I'm the EuroCrusher and this is Bomb Pot Big Stack. I got a great show for you guys today. The hand, well, I lost this one, so let's get into it. You know, I got Ace King in the small blind, and Doyle called it welcome back to Texas for a reason. Okay, I'm already in Texas, so there's nowhere else for me to go. I had to go all in, and I lost. But like I said, the hand's not that important. This one's about what happens when the Matrix breaks a man, and I'll tell you, it was not me. So this guy's over here in middle position. We're playing 1-2. He raises it up to $20. It folds around to me in the small blind with my Ace King. I raise it up to $75. Folds back to him, and he calls. Flops Queen 7-3, which is not ideal for someone holding an Ace King offsuit out of position against a guy with less than a pot-sized bet left in the stack. But there's really only one play here. Well, there's two. You can check and you can give up, or you can move all in. I moved all in and he snap called and rolls over Queen Jack offsuit, and he takes down the pot. Nice hand, sir. No, I lost every hand at this table for 2 hours. I didn't cry about it. I didn't say one word. I had to say rebuy. But that was it. Okay, and we're moving on. And about an hour after this hand I just told you about, the action's on me. Thinking about what to do. I'm thinking. It's a tough spot. You know, it's not immediately apparent to me what I'm supposed to do. And Mr. Friendly over here, he starts calling me Hollywood, calling me a bunch of other stuff, making all kinds of gestures and faces and stuff. And I wasn't having it. I called the floor. I said, I'm not putting up with this guy. And here's what I wanted to talk about. What's really important here. It's called the threshold of misery. I didn't come up with this stuff. This is in the books that you should be studying. Specifically, Caro's Most Profitable Hold'em Advice by Mike Caro, the original mad genius of poker. The guy is excellent. And the book's 50 years old and it's still perfect, okay? The threshold of misery is a dark, psychological basement that Mike Caro described, where a player has lost so much that they lose their grip on reality, logic, and basic human decency. And this is exactly where this guy was, okay? There was a lot more than the little overview I just gave you. Sum it up, he was talking about how much he was losing and how I shouldn't even complain about him being a dick to me, because he's lost so much, okay? When you lose enough money, that's when you get the right to complain about stuff. The gatekeeping of misery. The gatekeeping of the abyss. That's what he's doing. I've lost so much money, you can't complain about anything because I've lost so much money. It doesn't work that way, buddy. And let's talk about that Queen Jack hand. That'll tell you exactly why he's losing so much money here. Okay, it's a 1-2 game. A $20 open is massive. Okay, there are some times where I'll pick massive sizings like that. This would not be one of them. Facing a 3-bet from the guy in the small blind. A big one at that. You should just let it go. He chose to call. Okay, and it worked out for him. Congratulations, but I'm telling you, buddy, this masterpiece of a hand right here is why you're sitting around complaining about how much money you lost that night, okay? Because most of the time, you lose. So congratulations. Now on to the Hollywood, okay? What are you talking about, dude? Dude, you weren't talking about anything. You just wanted a reason to get into it with me. And I know that. And that's why I didn't get into it with you. I know for a fact I was not taking too long, because the longest I've ever taken on a poker decision is on TV, okay? I made a bet, dude went all in, I went deep in the tank. Deeper than I've ever gone in my entire life. So long, in fact, that I ended up thinking to myself, this is taking too long, I fold. And then I watched it. After the game was over, I watched it on TV. I was curious to know exactly how long that was, because I was quite sure it was the longest I had ever taken. Okay, it was 23 seconds. That's the longest I've ever held up a poker game, buddy. 23 seconds. You know, I played for 2 hours. I lost every hand. I said nothing. This is the mark of a professional, okay? Not everything's going to go your way. You will lose. You will lose several days in a row, and it will not matter what you do or what you work on, what you try. It's just all going to go bad. And that's okay. But that's what keeps this guy coming back. You know, it was like playing poker with Peter from Family Guy. That's what I was thinking while I'm looking at this guy. Or maybe if you've ever seen Jurassic Park, there's the guy, and he tries to steal all the dinosaur eggs and ship them back to the States and sell them to this dude, and it's all bad, alright? You don't do stuff like that, and this is why, because he ends up getting eaten. That's what happens when you cross the threshold of misery. You just end up getting eaten by these dinosaurs, and it doesn't matter. Okay, he's like 6 buy-ins deep at this game, and at this point he's probably just thinking, I hope I can lose the rest of my money, so then I can just make this session end and I can call it quits. But somehow they keep going back to the ATM, and this is why the ATMs have limits, and it causes problems for guys like me. Because sometimes I might want to go play in a big poker game, okay, and I might want to get $20,000 out of the ATM, but they won't let me get it out because so many guys like you go over there and hit it 40 times for 500. Whatever. You know, we don't have to guess why this guy's losing or why the rest of them are losing. Like I said, the masterpiece hand where he called with the queen jack off, that's all that we need. Okay, he's playing every hand exactly like that, and I'll tell you a secret, he's calling even if he doesn't catch a queen or a jack. Okay, if the flop is ace, deuce, deuce, he's gonna call because I don't think he got it. That's what he's gonna tell himself, I promise you. I promise you. This has been episode number 2, Gatekeeping the Abyss. Thank you. I'm the EuroCrusher. Hope you enjoyed it.